Welcome back to the show, everyone. Today, we're diving into one of the most talked about controversies in conservative media. Candace Owens facing major backlash after her recent comments that seem to have gone too far. From accusing Turning Point USA and Erica Kirk to sparring with fellow conservatives and even responding to tough questions in that CNN interview. This situation has set social media on fire and raised real questions about loyalty, integrity, and the limits of public confrontation within the movement. Is this a case of speaking uncomfortable truth or crossing the line into self-destruction? What does it reveal about how conservatives handle disagreement in the public square? We'll break down what happened, how people are reacting, and what this means for the future of conservative voices who challenge their own allies. Stay tuned, because this one's not just about Candace Owens. It's about power, platform, and what happens when conviction collides with controversy.
Like I just said, had a vivid dream this weekend, and Charlie came to me and he told me that he was betrayed. And so for me, you don't have to believe that, but I do believe that. And it was the immediate sense I got, actually. And I don't know who exactly it is that betrayed him, but I also felt in the dream that it is soon going to be revealed, that it's actually inevitable that it is going to be revealed, that there is nothing and no one that is going to stop the truth from coming out, and it is going to have international consequences. Take that to the bank.
I think you and I differ on our angle with regard to, for example, Candace Owens. I think that what Candace Owens is doing right now is evil. It is evil what she is doing right now. Okay, and I say that again.
But what?
Because
like I didn't opine on whether it's evil or not. But my position is it's really none of my business. And
why is it? But I have a question. Why is it none of your business? I mean, you comment on these things for a living.
I'm not mother of the internet.
No, but if this were on the left and somebody were accusing Charlie Kirk of his wife having murdered him, I assume that you would be talking about it.
Is that what Candace is accusing Erica of?
Yes.
Of murdering her own husband?
She's accusing TPUSA insiders and other members of the right wing, including Seth Dillon, of being involved in the murder of Charlie Kirk, yes.
Okay. Like I said, I don't take in that content, which is an honest statement. I don't have time to watch Candace's show.
I believe you. But
In the movie Legally Blonde, she was absolutely correct when she said that people who work out have endorphins and happy people don't kill their husbands. Anyway, the thing that I realized is that Mikey McCoy, the chief of staff of Turning Point USA, Mikey McCoy, for whatever reason, he always requires an adjective. Whenever they discuss Mikey McCoy, there's an adjective before they say his name. A bunch of people in the Turning Point USA orbit described Mikey McCoy in this very unique manner. I want you to take a listen to that.
But let me tell you who the heroes were in this whole thing. We're going to start with 23-year-old Mikey McCoy. And that's when the great Mikey McCoy showed up.
And my husband's chief of staff, the amazing Mikey McCoy.
My friend Mikey McCoy, the brilliant 24-year-old who at the time when Charlie was shot was 23 and was a hero that day.
I used to be known as Charlie Kirk's pastor, now I'm known as Mikey McCoy's dad.
He clicked into gear eventually.
He did.
It was amazing.
Mikey was a heroic figure on that day.
Amazing, heroic, he was brilliant. It stood out to me really because it's only Mikey that they moved to do it for. And objectively speaking, okay, I don't care what your experience in life is, I would not move to insist that someone was quote unquote heroic for walking away from their friend after he was shot. Okay, that wouldn't be the adjective that came to my mind, heroic. I also don't feel the need ever to qualify any of my friends with an adjective. Think about how strange it would be if on this show, every time I cover Tucker Carlson, I was like, the spectacular Tucker Carlson, the breathtaking Tucker Carlson is under attack in this moment. You'd be like, why are you doing that? Why do I feel like you're trying to program me? This only made me more interested in Mikey and the McCoy story. And I want to be super clear here. No innuendo. I know that Mikey McCoy did not kill Charlie Kirk. We watch him in those moments. But it's also becoming pretty apparent to me that the stage was being set for Mikey to become the new Charlie. In fact, on stage at the memorial event for Charlie and elsewhere, They were trying to prime the public for that plausibility, almost like it was this psychological operation, nod to Rob McCoy and his family lineage, to see Mikey as capable of filling Charlie's shoes. Take a listen.
Let me tell you something about Mikey. Mikey's been with Charlie for several years. He's 23 years old. He is wise beyond his years. And when that tragedy struck, Mikey was an absolute hero who kept everybody calm and did some of the most mundane things you would think you would need to do on the worst day of his life. And he continues to be a rock. He's been following Jesus for a long time. I'm hoping that Mikey one day will follow in Charlie's footsteps right to the college campus, because he has the ability, the demeanor, the grace, the knowledge to do so.
Set an example for the believers in speech and conduct and love, in faith and in purity. Our speaker today, Mikey McCoy, has done that. His path was pretty much like Charlie Kirk's path.
We're all trying to process this in their own way, and I appreciate that. But just some grace would be nice.
So I think it's a gracious answer, and I think it's a gracious request to, assert first and foremost that people are doing this because they care and they care about Charlie. And also this was a traumatic event that the entire world experienced. And also the reason why the internet is investigating is because the feds aren't. And not only are they not investigating, they're telling some pretty obvious lies, right? Number one being that he was shot by a 30-06 and stopped the bullet, when in a normal circumstance, it would have decapitated him. Like a 30-06 will decapitate someone. And because they've been so ridiculous and then gaslighting us by being like, you're dishonoring Charlie's legacy, people are digging their feet in the ground because it's just disrupts us spiritually to watch something like that and then be told like nothing to see here. Now, here's what I will say about her request to consider the people that were there that day. The people that were there that day experienced a trauma because they watched Charlie Kirk die, or maybe they didn't see him die, maybe watched him get shot, heard the shot, who knows what the exact specs are. This is where it's going to be really hard for Erica to be a CEO and to be somebody who is a widow at the same time, right? Because the messaging that is coming out of Turning Point USA, so this is Erica in her CEO and her chairman capacity, has just been unacceptable, right? It can't be both. It can't be, okay, everybody, we're going to keep going. And, Mikey's going to take over for Charlie at his Liberty event that he has, which is going to be sold out. And Turning Point USA, people who are directors of faith, are going to be telling you, like, Mikey's got what it takes. Here's what, blah, blah, blah. And then Mikey's going to tell stories about that day, go on his show multiple times. Andrew's going to talk about it. Everyone's going to talk about it. And they don't want to talk about the stuff that we care about. Like, this is what it means to have a podcast, right? You can't want fame only on your command. This is kind of the Meghan Markle thing, right? That we talk about. And I'm quoting this to Mikey McCoy. It's like everybody wants to be famous until you're famous. Okay. We want privacy now. Well, it doesn't actually work that way. You don't get to be like, I want to marry you and I want to be a princess and then become a princess. You're like, well, I don't want to be a princess, right? It's kind of, you got to pick one or the other. So if there were Turning Point individuals who were so traumatized that day and they needed to go away, I mean, I had to go away for 2 weeks to collect my thoughts about the trauma that I saw having watched it. And a lot of people I know that had to take breaks. I had to take the show off the air for a couple of days and they just, needed time to process. It'd be a little bit different. Actually, it's almost came across like they needed zero time to process and they were kind of annoyed that the world needed time to process. And then the things that they were telling us were lies. We were able to factually debunk things that we were being told. And then you've got people like Tyler, who's featured in this, Tyler Boyer, who you're the chairman and the CEO. Tyler Boyer is a sexual deviant, right? Why do we have to because he was at the hospital, give him grace? It's like, no, this is this is now what's at the head of the company. Charlie's not there. We want to make sure that this company is going to be committed to truth. We want to make sure that this company is not going to be telling us that we can't care about this or not be focused on that, because we need to decide whether this is still the same company. That's what it means, right? Is this still the same company? And so I think with the McCoy thing, everyone wanted a stage until you got a stage, okay? And people started going lie, right? Case in point, Alex Clark wanted to do the Wall Street Journal thing until I caught like this little lie. And it's like, what are you saying this thing about Catholics? That's not true, okay? Take the stage or don't take the stage, but it can't be in between. And then suddenly when the public turns against you, I don't want a stage anymore. That would be my response to that. And I do not have any sympathy for Rob McCoy. I have no sympathy for Mikey McCoy. I have no sympathy for Tyler Boyer. I think telling the truth is a very easy thing to do when you have a microphone. And if you don't want to tell the truth, it just makes you look more suspicious. And I can give you an example.
I'm so excited. Let's take a look.
When you say you believe that Charlie Kirk was betrayed by someone close to him, what do you mean?
I think that in the coming weeks, there's going to be a lot of financial reports that are coming out. And I, first and foremost, do not believe that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. I want to be very clear on that. Whether he was involved, I think the answer is yes. I think that's obvious.
And your basis for saying he didn't act alone is what?
I don't know, maybe the weird Fed messages that were concocted out of thin air that had no timestamp and were written like they were speaking in 1822, among other things. Their lack of an ability to answer any basic questions about what took place.
But do you have any proof that the messages were made up? Because that would be easily proven.
Yeah, but they didn't put timestamps on them, and Discord came out and said they didn't exist.
This was supposedly text messages, not Discord messages. It's my understanding from the indictment.
I actually did not read that they were text messages.
The indictment calls them text messages.
What would it be like the feds are like on a computer, like typing it out back and forth?
That's exactly what it is. The feds made up the text messages.
But you don't have anyone from like the FBI telling you that, or law enforcement?
Leaks.
Okay.
No.
Has anyone leaked to you?
And Tyler Robinson has.
But has anyone said to you, even off the record, like, yeah, we faked these?
I have very strong sources everywhere on both sides.
Well, I look forward to seeing the evidence of that.
Sure. Because when we keep talking about evidence, it's like, who's going to present that evidence? Like the mainstream media? Like who are you expecting to come out?
Yes, that would be a hot story.
No, it wouldn't be.
It would be.
It wouldn't be.
If the FBI, like if I had a source telling me, like if I had proof that the FBI faked those messages, that would be an enormous story.
Yeah, I kind of feel like we live in a post-Epstein world, and we know how stories get shut down.
Wow. And that's the reason why Candace won't be doing any interviews anytime soon. El Reeve, God bless you, sister. God bless you. CNN. I didn't expect that from CNN. All right, let's see you. Continue. We continue here with El Reeve, I believe. Let's take a look what she says.
They is a word, so like I don't need to always like say they. Like it's just a weird. It's like this is one of these psychology tactics where you're like, who is they? Who is they? And it's like,
because it sounds like you're saying Jews.
Does the word they mean Jews?
When you're talking about Jews, yes.
But if I'm not talking about Jews, then they doesn't mean Jews. When I say they want us to believe this or they want us to believe that, and you hear Jews, that's your own derangement, right? If I want to say something about Jews, I'll say it. If I want to say something about Israel, I will say it. If I want to, just like when I want to say something about black people, I'll say it. When I was saying during BLM, they want us to believe, nobody said, do you mean Jews? And so again, it's one of these trash tactics to make people fearful to speak. If I want to say Jews, I will say Jews. I don't fear saying Jews. When I say Zionists run the media, I mean Zionists run the media. People that support the political ideology of Israel run the media. Any other things that I can help clarify?
But are you familiar with this like very long-standing trope that Jews...
Side view. She responded to the interview that Erica Kirk had with Jesse Waters, and I gotta tell you, this is not a cold watch. We did watch it, and when I tell you I have a completely different view of Candace, and not to the better, to the absolute worst. It went from, you know what, Candace might be going crazy, and she's just losing her mind, to this woman is diabolical. I ain't know how else to tell you, man. Candace is not just mentally off, she's spiritually off. Like way left field, went through Hades, popped back up and died. She's like a dolphin in Hades. Woo! Y'all can say what you want about us, about how we're viewing this and how we're talking about it. That you have the right to do so. But I really wish you would keep that same energy for this lady on the screen here after what you're going to hear now. Look, I was blown away. I really was blown away because I was watching it in real time. And I'm thinking, I'm not really hearing what I'm hearing. Decided to check the comment section during the live. And my goodness, you Candyites are vile folks, bro. Like, There is no other way I can describe you because you had to have gotten it from somewhere. And I have a suspicion the fact that you feel so free to say it on her channel, you got it from her. I mean, I saw people saying, yeah, Erica's so vile. Erica's so dark. I can't trust her. I know she had something to do. This is what they're saying in the comment section. Any checking? Nothing. You can't tell me that Candace don't know neither. She knows exactly what's going on in the comment section, y'all. Don't please. If you think she's that brilliant to have the CIA in her grasp, then she must be wise enough to know. Remember, she said, you can't run a company and not know what's going on. Yeah, there you go. All right. This is her words, not ours. So let's listen to what she said about the interview. I'm going to let it play as much as I can. But I'm going to tell you now, if you look at my face, it might give a reaction regardless. Okay. I'm just letting you know. All right, Candy.
And I think people are catching on to the fact that I'm sincerely looking for truth and I don't care what enemies I make along the way. And obviously, I'm making a lot of enemies right now for some reason, looking into the Charlie Kirk assassination and the lies that we are being told. Anyways, let's get into Erica Kirk. Obviously, it was a very anticipated interview. I think we didn't really know what we were going to get. I don't know why I thought it was going to be like more about the investigation. And obviously, in retrospect, that's not what it was about because it's Fox News and Fox News is not going to do this like heavy investigation. It was kind of more giving her a platform to speak about how things have changed for her, how things have changed for Turning Point USA, but it's like being at the helm of the organization. What are her thoughts about what that organization is going to look like going forward? And I'm speaking about Jesse Waters, who hosted this discussion, also trailed her at the event that she did with J.D. Vance at the University of Mississippi. Now, people around the world obviously have been moved by Erica's commitment to her Christian faith, the strength, obviously, that it takes for her to look after her kids, to look after herself, plus to steward this massive company, all while she's grieving, right? And that's kind of one of the things that stood out the most to a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm trying, people. I'm trying. Now, please notice how she's speaking about Erica. It's almost as though it's a third person, second person conversation, how other people took this and what people might be thinking. Not her. No, she has no say about Erica's side of things. She has a lot to say about herself. And oh my gosh, is she going to talk about herself? Find you somebody in life that loves you like Candace loves Candace. If you find that kind of love, you will never be alone. Nope, never be alone. This issue that's about to pop off, if you see nothing wrong with it, so be it. I have questions, but so be it. The issue really isn't necessarily about the interview. If you heard what she said specifically, she said, I thought, everything, it has to be about her. I thought what they would have talked about was the case details. Instead, they're talking about her emotions. Oh, my goodness, who cares about that? We need details about the case. Who cares about what's going on in Turning Point USA? Except that you do, because you keep trying to find out who in charge and what they do and what they're covering up. And if you're saying that the Turning Point USA is covering up stuff while you just said that Erica was at the helm of it, I wonder who's covering what up. I mean, okay, look, I would think by logical deduction of reason, if somebody says this person is the head of an organization, okay, and then you say this organization that they're ahead of is covering for something that happened to Charlie, wouldn't one think reasonably that the person where the buck stops would be the head? Just a thought. Maybe I might be floating. You just guys let me know. Okay, let's continue.
But I would say the Christian message is what has resonated the most when she got up on stage and she said that I forgive him pretty instantly. I mean, when was the memorial event? It was only 10, 11 days after he was assassinated. I think it was even less, maybe. It was like the 19th he was assassinated. Oh, sorry, the 21st. Mansplained in my ear. Thank you, Mark. So Jesse asked her about the harder moments that she has encountered becoming a widow. And she shared that nighttime is the hardest. She also shared her experience with the emotions of being a widow compared to the emotions that other widows may experience when grappling with sudden loss. And here's what she had to say. Take a listen.
Before she plays Erica, again, please note how she's speaking about what Erica says. I want you to really analyze how she's addressing this. Oh, I don't understand how quickly. It was only 9 days. How could she possibly forgive the person that quickly? Look, I understand that Candace is used to having the Pope tell her everything and when to forgive and how to forgive, and she can't forgive unless she goes through the Pope, kisses the ring, licks the hat, whatever they do, smoke incense. I don't know what y'all do anymore in Catholic faith. It's all convoluted to me. But I'm trying to figure out why you have a problem with somebody forgiving somebody else. Then again, I think I know why. Because you genuinely believe that was your husband. I got news for you, Candy. That wasn't your husband. I don't know. Maybe someone hasn't told you lately. You haven't. You have one. His name is George. His name wasn't Charlie. And I think the same way that Erica took time off to take care of her kids. That's a good example, isn't it? She set the good one. I would maybe follow it. Just a thought. Just ruminating in my head. But again, make sure you listen to how she is looking at Erica's interview and exactly what she says after she watches segments of it. Please note how she says it, not exactly what. We will listen to what too, but please listen to the direction from which she is coming. That's pivotal.
It's so easy to be in a position of feeling regret when you lose someone you love. And I tried to read a book by C.S. Lewis because he lost the love of his life. He was only married to her for 4 years. I think it's called A Grief Observed. And it was a very hard book to read. Not because it was about grief, but because in the opening pages he talked about how angry he was with God. And I've never felt that. I'm not angry with God. Never have been. Never have I questioned, why, Lord, are you putting me through this? Why are you testing me? Why are you? Because God is so good and he's so sovereign. And I know he uses everything, even what the enemy meant for evil. And I have no regrets.
So when I saw this moment,
Now, I'm going to pause. I'll back up to when she starts. But I hope that you all were watching her reaction while Erica was talking. I really hope you all were watching that. The lack of attention, first of all, that she paid to it. Maybe I could give her that she watched the whole thing before she did her live. Okay, cool. I'll give her that. But there was a look on her face while watching Erica that I don't think many people could really miss if you were watching. There was a snide look of resentment on Candace's face. And I mean, it was blatant. She hates that woman. When I say this, Candace has a visceral, deep-seated, heart-entrenched hate for Erica Kirk. I mean that. How do I go about saying something like that this adamantly? By her response right after Erica was done. Now, mind you, this is the woman's husband that she lost. She lost her husband, father of her children. Candace says she lost a best friend. Just remember that. And after seeing the widow of your best friend weep, talking about him, this is what she has to say. And Lord, look, man, when I tell you, I would think that you would be talking about the widow. But no, not Candace. Listen.
Everything. Even what the enemy meant for evil. And I have no regrets.
So when I saw this moment, I was just thinking about myself and my a lot of emotions and grieving that I have experienced and all the emotions that I've shared with you guys and the anger that I have felt. And I want to be very clear that I am not that example that she is giving. I could have never, and I know that so many people agree with this, I could have never forgiven Tyler Robinson for whatever part he played in this. And obviously I'm saying whatever part he played in this because I don't believe that he was the lone person involved. I don't even think he's the person that killed Charlie Kirk. But even if you believe all of those things, I never could have turned around and forgiving him that quickly, right?
Did you count? I lost count. I'm just trying to figure. Have you guys counted how many times she mentioned I? Please remember who the interview is about and who the interview is with, and exactly what the interview was about, and not just the who. Please, it's Erica, Charlie. Along comes Candace. Well, I put myself, when I watched this, I thought about myself. You know, the way I felt about what I thought and what I felt, you know, but with me, I could have never, I don't know how someone could, because me, when it looks to me, my and me and I, this is the most self-absorbed, self-centered, egocentric human being I think I have ever seen. And Liberace existed. There was an individual named Liberace. She beats him. The only thing she's missing is the outfit. But that might be coming soon. That is insane. This is your best friend's wife. The widow. The widow. The one that has to talk to her children at night about daddy not being there. And the first place your mind goes when you hear it is you. Well, I didn't remember me. Well, you know, as for me, you know, when I was grieving about this, and me and grieve and I, and she doesn't stop. That is only the first half of the me, myself, and I conglomeration of words. Just when I say wait, it gets exponentially more cringeworthy and upsetting. Wait.
Right. And I have not even processed. I definitely, when I prayed about this, asked a ton of questions to God. And yeah, she is absolutely right in what she is saying. And she is delivering to us what the biblical teaching is on these matters. But I could not feel that way. And so I was questioning myself, listening, it's like, what is wrong with me? Like, well, actually, what is wrong with me? Why am I not able to get to forgiveness? Why am I not able to, or why am I rather questioning and asking why, and why doing this to somebody so young? I mean, even my dad, by the way, was so impacted. He met Charlie a couple of times, but he was so impacted by Charlie's assassination that it made him go, I want to be, I remember my dad said this, like, I want to be a better grandfather and a better father, because I look at myself and I'm older and I haven't lived a life anywhere near as admirable as Charlie has lived his life. My dad literally said this to me on the phone. And it makes me feel like, why him? Why did this happen to Charlie Kirk? And I just, I don't know. That's kind of what I was thinking. I was going, wow, what is wrong with me that I have felt all of those things, that she has had the wisdom to just not go through that. You know what
You said it. You have no wisdom. I'm finally glad that maybe something is getting through that thick skull of yours. You have no wisdom, Candace. You lack wisdom. Everything you do lacks wisdom. And even you saying it still isn't getting through to your head. Nothing is going through that 15-inch plate steel. Nothing. You lack wisdom. Why? Because you're money hungry. You whore after money. You are willing to give up scruples. You're willing to give up all of your morals, everything for the almighty dollar and fame. Even if that means berating and comparing Erica to your father and yourself. Neither one of you were married to Charlie Kirk. Y'all didn't lose what Erica lost. You can't ever put yourself in that position unless you've lost a spouse. And even then, your spouse wasn't Charlie Kirk, nor was your spouse assassinated in front of the world. You do not possess the rights, you do not possess the standing to have a dog in this fight as to how somebody else decides to forgive. But you are completely right. You are wisdomless. If it's one thing you completely lack. And you probably, did you say you pray, right? Pray for wisdom. You seem to think that smarts and snarkiness replaces wisdom. It doesn't, like at all. You had the gall to hear a lady talking about her deceased husband and decide to, when I heard that, it's me. I hear about me. I think about me. And what about me and me and me and me? And not only me, but my father too. And he thought the same thing. How could anybody forgive? Maybe I just don't have wisdom. Or maybe you're trying to say that after you took pot shots at her for being able to forgive. You know, I know she said what the Bible says, but me? Psh, but I thought you were the Christ is King lady. Aren't you the Christ is King lady? Isn't that you? Aren't you the super spiritual God Almighty woman? Isn't that you? 10 toes down, I'm going to talk to the Jews about Christ is King, and that's what he is. Y'all just angry at Christ. Isn't that you? And when you see somebody actually putting to practice what God told you to do, that ain't me. that ain't you. I couldn't do that. You couldn't. And of course not, because you don't have a heart. But anyway, continue.
I mean, or not, I guess I shouldn't say not go through that, but not fixate on that. I couldn't today, after everything that's happened, be like, I forgive Tyler Robbins. I can't do it. I just can't do it. And I think maybe if I'm assessing myself and being hypercritical of myself right now, it's because I cannot forgive until I know what happened.
Hold up. I have to stop it, because as soon as something just went like, pow. Y'all remember her talking about Trump and the speech he gave about I hate my enemies? Y'all remember that speech she talked about? And you remember how much she was upset that he would say that at a memorial? Y'all remember that? Please tell me that y'all internet memory people remember her doing and having an issue with Trump on stage. They're moving along so quickly he can't forgive it. That's not like Charlie, but here you are. I want y'all to catch this oxymoron, and I want you to, man, what? This is crazy. But you complain about somebody not loving their enemies, and here you are saying, I could never, ever, ever forgive your enemies. Unforgiveness is a result of hate, Candace. You're dogging somebody for something you yourself are doing, but when you do it, that's different. I have a reason to do it. That's the killer. That's different. Everything is different for Candace. None of the rules that apply to everybody else that she calls out applies to her, ever. She can ask questions. You can't ask questions of her. You can't hate your enemies. She sure can. You can speculate on everybody. Nobody can speculate on you. That's narcissism, by the way. Like textbook narcissism. But I had to interject that because I'll forget. But secondarily, that just struck me as superly odd.
I don't know what I'm forgiving, actually, until I know what happened. And this might move into what we're going to get into later, where she answers the question, we're going to get to it right now, actually, of whether or not she believes that they have caught the true killer of Charlie Kirk, right? Do you believe that? The person that we have in custody, is that the person that pulled the trigger? Is that the only person that pulled the trigger? Anyways, I want you to hear it directly from her and not me recapping what she said, or reiterating it, rather. It's gone viral because of what she didn't say, to be honest with you. Take a listen.
Do you think they've caught your husband's killer?
So, something I'm so grateful for is that we have one of the most incredible teams for this case. I would never wish it upon anybody to have to go through what we are going through. To have seen the autopsy report, to have seen the different evidence portions that have been collected. I trust our team.
So it's not a straight yes or no.
You want to know why, Candace? You want to know why it's not a straight yes or no? I have to give Erica credit for having the intelligence that you lack. And this is the intelligence that she possesses that you seem to just either are obtuse to, you refuse to do it, or you just don't possess the ability to have. I think maybe all of those might be existing in your body at once. She is privy to stuff that you don't have. She understands that a case is currently going on. What she doesn't want to do, what you feel free to do, is to jeopardize the case. She doesn't want to do that. Why? Because she actually wants justice for her dead husband. You, on the other hand, like to muddy the waters for the justice of your dead friend by throwing his wife into the mix. You want information that doesn't belong to you, that doesn't belong in the public sphere. Why? Because it's under investigation. You see, if you knew anything about investigation, since you seem to know how to investigate, but you don't know how to investigate investigations, you can't just dump stuff into the public just because. Say, for instance, that they do have a solid case and they start to call people to ask them questions, all these witnesses, and a witness somehow listen to your stupid behind. And then they regurgitate what you say. You know what that could do to the case, Candace? Let me let you on some game. It could destroy the case. Even if it's destroying your conspiracy theory, you don't even seem to give a damn. Think of it this way. Suppose you are right. Okay? Yeah, I don't think you are, but suppose you're right. And you just want all the information dumped into the public sphere. And people grab it. Now, somebody that's part of the case, that's a witness that you never knew was a witness, hears you, regurgitates that, and then the defense says, nah, that doesn't sound like he actually came up by it by himself. I don't think he was a witness. I think he heard that from somewhere, and he's tainting the pool of information by talking about somebody else who had no information on the case. You just jeopardized the case, Candace. Secondarily, I notice you're not talking about the one elephant in the room, that pesky autopsy. Remember, you said there was none done. You had mad questions as to why they never did an autopsy. You and about 15 different people, idiots online, and they could have never done, even though it was required by law. I noticed that you did not address the fact that she said there was not only one, but she saw it. And by Utah state law, that the family is the only one, plus the people that act as the coroner's department can see it and talk about it, but they don't divulge it. Did you forget that part too? I noticed that you kind of didn't jump on that first. But maybe, just maybe you're going to talk about it. Let's find out.
And the implication could be that she trusts the team to find more or to get answers, or if this is not it, to tell her what the true answers are. And I think that's why this is going viral, because they're going, okay, does she actually believe that Tyler Robinson acted alone? And obviously Jesse is not going to push her on that, because it would have probably felt more like an interrogation rather than just sitting down and speaking through some of these topics that are probably hard to talk about in general.
Candace, I'll get back to you in a second, but let me ask you a question. Did it ever occur to you, it's just a fleeting thought, did it ever occur to you that quite possibly the goal of this particular conversation was to make sure to not touch on things that had to do with the case? Did it ever occur to you that maybe, just maybe, they weren't trying to consult with you as to how this interview was going to go, but rather they were building the interview around Erica and how comfortable Erica felt? Because you know who's the one that lost her husband? Erica. You know who didn't have a husband lost in this? You. You know who wasn't married to Charlie Kirk? You. You know who did not sleep with Charlie Kirk, at least that we know of? You. You know who didn't bear children for Charlie Kirk? You. You. You know who's not obligated to get any damn information? You. None of us. We're not part of the family. We simply are not. We're observers from the outside. We do not possess the rights to tell anybody involved in the case how to operate the case. We are not obligated to get any information about the case going on. We do not have the right. And I don't care how much you think you are the main person in this, you are not. I have to keep reminding you that you are valueless in this. You're not even coal to be pressed to become a diamond. You're a speck on the floor of an abandoned restaurant. Nobody eats there. Nobody's cleaning it. You're not obligated to get any information about a case that you don't belong to, your family's not involved in, just because you think that you were a friend to somebody. That's not how this works. The interview was about Erica, where she's at, how she's handling it. Your interpretation, we don't give a damn about. You putting yourself in it, we don't need to hear about. It's valueless. I hope I drive that point home enough, and I will be driving it home even more, because I understand that that steel plate that's in your head is a very difficult thing to get to, but I have some adamantium words for you, so we'll see if it can bore through.
But I am hopeful that what she's implying is that she trusts her team to do the due diligence. She says that she has seen the autopsy report. She has seen certain things. Obviously, none of us have seen the autopsy report. And I don't know. I didn't know what to make of that. Is she?
None of us has seen the autopsy report. You see what I mean by when I tell you all that Candace is she's an orator, okay? Pied Piper with words. If Candace knew anything about what she actually thinks she knows about, she'd understand that there was nothing that anybody could do to divulge this information. It would be illegal, Candace. It would be illegal for them to give the autopsy results out. Do you not understand that? Is this not getting through enough to the rest of you? Outside of the fact that you're not owed it, you can't get it. Nobody can get it but the family and the state. And if there's a case going on, them, if allowed to buy the family. Y'all are so hell-bent on trying to be intrusive into people's lives that you don't really realize the damage you are doing publicly. But maybe you do realize it and you do not care, because what you're getting out of it financially outweighs your moral compass. You're vile. Like when I said demonic, that's you. Like if there ever was a true definition of satanic facial expressions and behavior in the dictionary, your picture would be right next to it. Sick. You see how you view people that would go visit Gaza? That'd be how you actually are. That would be what you call projecting.
She's saying that there's more that's going to come out. Is that kind of a foreshadowing that more is going to come out and things are going to be clear? I hope so. I really do. Because in terms of what the public has seen so far, I would say nothing has been convincing. And I'm trying to imagine what they would have that the public hasn't seen that could be sort of a smoking gun. And in theory, it would be the footage, right? Tyler Boyer said, we have footage in 4K, all of the stuff when he was tweeting. And similarly, not the university, but somebody else was saying that, on every angle, every area of the university is covered. Their excuse for not showing the public was they didn't want it to in any way impact the case. That has never made sense to me. That excuse has never made sense to me.
We know nothing logical will make sense to you, Candace. Now, if y'all still follow her and think that she's some kind of super sleuth, then okay. Hey, look, I can't fix that. There's tons of things that think something can't fix. But if you don't understand yet how a court case works, if you don't understand yet how a profile this big of a case works, then I ain't no helping you. There's literally no helping you at this point. None. That the man was at such a high level in public view that the president of the United States, the president, had a hand in how his casket was handled. Yeah. And hear me out. If it is as big of a case that you want it to be in terms of international players, what makes you think that you should know anything? Who the hell are you to know anything? Okay, whether they are bad actors in it or they're the good guys in it, you ain't in it at all. So you're not good or bad. You are indifferent. You're just a leftover crumb. You don't need to know nothing. But you don't understand how releasing every angle of footage could jeopardize. You don't understand that?
So allow me to be very explicit, okay? I want war with all of you, okay? All of you. And there's a reason. I'm going to get to that reason in a little bit, but I want war with all of you. So write your articles, issue your statements, email the White House, reach out for comment, okay? Say whatever it is you want to say about me. I want war with all of you. Because I know this isn't right. And there is no way you are going to convince me and the rest of the world that all of this is normal. We're not just going to keep on going and jump into a succession plan. We're going to figure out what the hell happened on September 10th first. So allow me to be very explicit, okay? I want war with all of you, okay? All of you. And there's a reason. I'm going to get to that reason in a little bit, but I want war with all of you. So write your articles, issue your statements, email the White House, reach out for comment, okay? Say whatever it is you want to say about me. I want war with all of you. Because I know this isn't right. And there is no way you are going to convince me and the rest of the world that all of this is normal. We're not just going to keep on going and jump into a succession plan. We're going to figure out what the hell happened on September 10th first. So allow me to be very...
Lord, we thank you for giving us the freedom to speak, to think, and to seek truth in a world filled with noise and division. As we reflect on what we've discussed today, help us remember that every platform, every voice, and every disagreement carries a weight before you. Grant us wisdom to discern truth from pride, courage to stand firm in conviction, and humility to listen with grace, even when we disagree. May those in the public eye, including Candace Owens, Turning Point USA, and everyone involved, be guided by your light rather than personal ambition. Let truth rise above ego, and let compassion temper every confrontation. Unite us, Lord, not in uniformity, but in righteousness and love for what is good, pure, and just. In Jesus' name, we pray, amen.